Listen carefully. What I'm about to share could be the most important financial conversation you've ever had. Not because it's complicated, but because most people learn these lessons too late. I've spent over 20 years sitting across the table from people just like you. Smart people, hardworking people, people who did everything right, raised their families, paid their bills, showed up every single day. And yet, quietly, without warning, their retirement slipped through their fingers like sand. Not because of bad luck, not because of the economy, not because of Wall Street, but because of 7 mistakes, 7 decisions that seemed harmless, even smart at the time, that ultimately dismantled everything they had spent decades building. I'm not sharing this to frighten you. I'm sharing it because I refuse to watch one more person cross into their 60s and 70s with nothing but regret and an empty savings account. So if you're 50 or older, stop everything right now. What you're about to hear is not theory. It is a collection of real stories, real pain, and real consequences I have witnessed firsthand. Mistake number 1, believing you still have plenty of time. Here's what no one tells you when you turn 50. The clock doesn't just keep ticking, it accelerates. The compound interest that was quietly working in your favor through your 30s and 40s, after 50, that same math starts working against you if you're not fully invested and strategically positioned. Every year you delay doesn't cost you 1 year of growth. It costs you the exponential returns that year would have generated for the next decade and beyond. Imagine 2 people, David and Sandra. Both are 52. Both have $150,000 saved. David thinks, I've got 13 years until retirement. I'm fine. He keeps contributing the same modest amount, doesn't adjust his strategy, keeps spending what he earns. Sandra feels a chill run down her spine that morning. She sits at her kitchen table, does the math, and realizes she needs $1.2 million. She has $150,000. She has 13 years. And she decides right there that something has to change. David retires at 65 with around $380,000. He runs out of money by 78. Sandra retires with over $890,000. And she's still growing it. Same starting point, completely different outcomes. The only difference? Sandra stopped believing she had time to waste. After 50, every financial decision carries more weight. Every delay costs more than it ever did before. The window to correct course is still open, but it is narrowing, and it is narrowing fast. Engagement. If someone handed you a mirror right now and asked you to honestly assess your retirement readiness, what would you see? Drop your answer in the comments. Your honesty might inspire someone else to wake up. Mistake number 2, carrying debt into retirement. Like it's a backpack. Picture yourself at 67. You've finally retired. The alarm clock is gone. The commute is over. But instead of traveling and spending time with grandchildren, you're sitting at your kitchen table watching your fixed retirement income drain out every month. To a mortgage with 12 years left, a car payment, credit card balances that never go to zero, and a home equity loan from a kitchen renovation in 2019. This is not a rare scenario. This is the silent epidemic destroying retirements across the country. Debt in retirement is not just a financial problem. It is a psychological one. The stress of owing money on a fixed income creates anxiety that ages people faster, damages health, and strips away every ounce of the joy retirement is supposed to bring. Research from the Employee Benefit Research Institute confirms Americans between 55 and 64 are carrying more debt than any previous generation at that age. Every dollar you owe in retirement belongs to your creditor. Every month you pay interest, you're buying less freedom, less security, and less peace of mind. If you're over 50 and carrying significant debt, treat it like the emergency it is. Not next year. Now. Eliminate high-interest debt with fierce urgency. Rethink whether that mortgage needs to follow you into retirement. Your older self is counting on the decisions your current self makes today. CTA. If this is resonating, please subscribe and hit the notification bell right now. Every week I share strategies the financial industry hopes you never discover. And you cannot afford to miss a single one. Mistake number 3, ignoring healthcare costs, the retirement killer. Nobody talks about. Healthcare costs are the single greatest threat to your retirement savings. Greater than market crashes, greater than inflation, greater than any bad investment you'll ever make. Let that sink in. Fidelity. A Investments estimates the average couple retiring today needs over $315,000 after Medicare, just for healthcare and retirement. That doesn't include long-term care, dental, vision, or the hearing aids that cost $5,000 and you'll likely need by 75. I've sat with couples who saved $700,000 or $800,000. Feeling proud, feeling secure. Then one of them got sick. One catastrophic illness, one extended hospital stay, one diagnosis requiring ongoing treatment. And within a few years, 4 decades of savings were largely gone. Not from recklessness, from biology. What does this mean practically? If you retire before 65, you must bridge the gap to Medicare with private insurance. Premiums can run $800 to $2,000 per month for a couple. Long-term care insurance becomes dramatically more expensive after 60. Health savings accounts offer a triple tax advantage even a 401k can't match. And Medicare has enrollment windows that, if missed, result in permanent lifetime penalties. The mistake is not getting sick. The mistake is not planning for it with the same urgency you give your investment portfolio. Engagement. Have you factored real healthcare costs into your retirement plan? Be honest. Most people haven't. Tell me in the comments. Mistake number 4. Rating your retirement accounts. Slowly bleeding yourself dry. I watched a client, I'll call him Robert, do this over 7 years. When his son's business hit trouble, Robert quietly withdrew $40,000 from his 401k at 55. When his roof needed replacing, another $18,000. When he needed a vehicle, he dipped in again. Each time he told himself it was temporary. Each time the money was gone. Plus income taxes, plus early withdrawal penalties, plus the compound growth that money would have generated. When Robert sat in my office at 63, ready to retire, his balance was a fraction of what it should have been. That $40,000 at 55 would have grown to $95,000 by 65. Every withdrawal cost him not just what he took, but everything it would have become. Retirement accounts are not savings accounts. They are not emergency funds. They are protected, tax-advantaged vaults built for one purpose: to fund the final chapter of your life. Every time you reach in early, you're stealing from your future self. Build a separate emergency fund of 6 to 12 months of expenses outside your retirement accounts, non-negotiable after 50, and resist helping adult children at the expense of your own security. There are loans for education. There are loans for businesses. There are no loans for retirement. CTA. Subscribe right now if you want to protect everything you've worked for. I release content every week specifically designed for people over 50 who are serious about finishing strong. Mistake number 5. Taking Social Security too early. A decision you cannot undo. Of all the mistakes I've witnessed in over 2 decades, this one might be the most devastating. Because unlike most financial mistakes, this one is permanent. Someone turns 62. They're tired. They've been working 40 years. That Social Security check feels like the reward finally arriving. So they claim early. And in the moment, it feels right. But here is what it actually costs. If your full retirement age is 67, claiming at 62 reduces your benefit by up to 30%. Permanently, not temporarily. Every single month, for the rest of your life, you receive a check 30% smaller than what you earned. Over a 25-year retirement, if your full benefit would have been $2,200 per month, you're instead receiving $1,540. That's $660 less every month. Nearly $200,000 in lost income over 25 years. Money that was already yours, simply gone because of an irreversible decision made in a moment of exhaustion. And if you delay to 70, your benefit grows by 8% for every year past your full retirement age. That $2,200 at 67 becomes nearly $2,730 at 70. And that higher base is what all future cost of living adjustments are calculated on. The math overwhelmingly favors waiting, unless you are in poor health or have no other income source. Engagement. Have you thought about when you'll claim Social Security? Do you know the real dollar difference between claiming at 62 versus 70? Drop your age and your question in the comments. I read every single one. Mistake number 6. Having no plan for required minimum distributions. The tax ambush. Most people don't think about this until the IRS forces their hand, and they find themselves staring at a tax bill in retirement they never saw coming. You spend decades contributing to your traditional 401k or IRA. You get the deduction. You watch the balance grow. What you may not have fully understood is that the IRS has been patient. They let you defer those taxes for decades, but they always intended to collect. Beginning at age 73, updated under the Secure 2.0 Act. The IRS requires you to withdraw a specific percentage of your traditional retirement accounts every year, whether you need the money or not. Every dollar is taxed as ordinary income. If you have $1 million, $1.5 million, or $2 million in a traditional account, those distributions could push you into a significantly higher tax bracket. They can trigger higher Medicare premiums through IRMAA. They can cause up to 85% of your Social Security benefits to become taxable. I've watched retirees discover at 73 that the government was taking a cut they never anticipated. The solution: Roth conversions before age 73, done in lower income years, let you pay tax now at a lower rate, so your money grows tax-free forever with no RMDs required. Qualified charitable distributions allow people 70 and a half and older to donate up to $105,000 annually, directly from an IRA, satisfying the RMD without it counting as taxable income. And building tax diversification across traditional, Roth, and taxable accounts gives you flexibility to manage your burden throughout retirement. The mistake is not the RMD. The mistake is being blindsided by it. The mistake is having no plan. CTA. If you're learning things your own financial advisor has never told you, please subscribe and share this with someone you care about. This information belongs to everyone. Mistake number 7. Failing to plan for the emotional side of retirement. The hidden crisis. I saved this one for last deliberately, because this is the mistake that never shows up on a spreadsheet. It won't appear on your brokerage statement. No financial calculator will flag it, but I have seen it destroy retirements and lives more completely than any of the 6 mistakes I've already described. It is the failure to plan for who you will be when the work is done. Studies consistently show that depression rates among retirees are significantly higher than among working adults. Divorce rates spike in the first 2 years of retirement. Cognitive decline accelerates in those who retire without purpose and structure. I've watched brilliant, accomplished people fall apart within 18 months of retirement because no one told them that financial security and personal fulfillment are not the same thing. You can have a fully funded retirement account and still feel utterly lost. And when people are emotionally adrift, the financial damage follows. They spend irrationally to fill the void. They fall victim to scams. Retired Americans lose billions annually to financial fraud, precisely because isolation and vulnerability make them targets. They make impulsive investment decisions, chasing returns and abandoning sound strategies for the illusion of control. The financial plan and the life plan must be built together. Ask yourself right now, what will I do with my time? What community will I belong to? What gets me out of bed with purpose on a Tuesday morning? What legacy am I building, and for whom? These are not soft questions. They are financial questions, because the answers determine how you spend, how wisely you spend, and whether the money you saved actually serves the life you hope to live. Final engagement. Of all 7 mistakes, which one hit closest to home? Which one made you stop and think? That is me. Tell me in the comments. Your honesty might be exactly what someone else needed to read today. Money, by itself, means nothing. It is simply a tool. The real end is a life lived on your own terms. Mornings without alarm clocks, the freedom to say yes to what matters and no to what doesn't. Watching your grandchildren grow up without the constant undercurrent of financial fear poisoning every moment. That life is possible. I have seen people build it, but it requires honesty, urgency, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths before they become irreversible consequences. You are not too old to fix this, but you may be too old to wait. Review your debt. Understand your Social Security options. Plan seriously for healthcare. Protect your retirement accounts. Build a Roth conversion strategy. Prepare for RMDs before they become a tax ambush. And spend just as much time planning the life you want as you do planning the money to fund it. Your retirement deserves to be everything you work for. Don't let these 7 mistakes take it from you. Final CTA. If even one thing I said today made you see your retirement differently, subscribe right now, leave a comment below, and share this with one person over 50 who needs to hear it. You might be saving their retirement. And I will see you in the next one, because there is so much more you need to know.